Let's talk about the 200 plus books that I have on my physical TBR. We all have our own issues, right? We have our own addictions, and mine just happens to be buying books. But this isn't new to any of you. If you guys saw my bookshelf tour, you would have seen how many damn books I have on my bookshelf, and over 200 of them I haven't read. Yep, I know, I'm sorry. I wanted to go through every single book I have on my physical TBR. Now I've pulled out the first couple of rows. You can see behind me my bookshelf is bare. It's bare, it's sad, but this might just give me the push to read some of these and to bring my physical TBR down. Now, I think roughly there is 233 books on my physical TBR. Roughly, that's very rough. But you know what? I have a lot of double ups. I have a lot of like books that I have 2 copies of because one of them is a different copy, whatever, okay? We all know I have a problem. And we know that my biggest goal of this year was to read more of my physical TBR. And I do that, but then I continue to buy more books that I will not read. So let's just do it. I'm going to do this very rapid fire with you guys because I feel like we have a lot to go through. We have over 200 books to go through, and yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's get into it. I'm going to start, and I'm going to try and group them into like genres and tropes and everything so that you guys can sort of see what I've got going on here. Alrighty, let's get into it. Let's start off with emotional damage. So I have read a few emotional damage books, and there are some that I have not read, so let's get into the ones I haven't read. So we've got Forever We Fall by Chloe Walsh, which is the 4th book in the Broken series. I read all the other ones, I just am yet to get to this one. We have 1,000 Boy Kisses and the new one 1,000 Broken Pieces. Now I haven't read the first one, so why did I buy the second one? Let's not ask any questions. We are not judging today. I've got A Wish for Us by Tilly Cole. I saw this and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna read it. Like, why not? I don't know. I have Sing It Sam. Now this is super cute. This is by Jennifer Ryder. I bought this book at a local bookstore, like a book signing, and I haven't read it, but I want to. I don't know what it's about, but it's signed and I'm gonna read it, okay? We have a Optimist's Guide to Heartbreak and A Pessimist's Guide to Love by Jennifer Hartman. I've heard such good things about these books and I really want to read them, so I will read them. I will read them. We have Aria and Coda by Jennifer Hartman as well. Now this is a duet series. I don't know what it's called. I haven't read either of them, but I will read them, and they're stunning, so I had to get them, okay? And then we have The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. I knew that it was Rebecca Yarros, okay guys? I really want to read this. Everyone says it's really good. I just haven't picked it up. I just haven't. We have Travis by Mia Sheridan, which is a spin-off to Archer's Voice, I believe. It follows one of the characters in Archer's Voice. I don't know. And then we have Grayson's Vow by Mia Sheridan as well. I also believe that this is a spin-off to Archer's Voice. Maybe, I don't know. I actually don't know. But I bought it, and yeah, that's all I need to say. Eyes Turn Skyward and Full Measures by Rebecca Yarros. I picked these up at Big W when they came out, and I want to read them. You guys know that I love Rebecca Yarros's romance and emotional damage, and I'm hoping that this gives. And then we have Still Beating and Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. Now, I don't really know anything about these. I know that you guys love these books, but I have no idea. So I will read them and I will update you guys on what they're actually about, but they're cute. I don't know. I think they're emotional damage. I think they might be a little bit dark. I honestly, I don't know. And then we have Catch the Sun by Jennifer Hartman. This is her newest release. It is chunky. It is chunky. And I added this one recently, so I can't read this first, right? Right? And then we have Great and Precious Things by Rebecca Yarros as well. Now these are honestly really mixed up. I've just put them all into sections so that I can sort of like keep them all like authors together. It's pretty random, I'm sorry. We have Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins. I've heard really good things about this one as well. I've heard that it's really sad and I want to cry and I want to read it. We have In the Likely Event by Rebecca Yarros, which has just come out trad, but this is the indie version of it. It is so, so cute. I want to read it. I do. And I want you guys to give me, like, I want you guys, if you've read any of these books and you've loved them, I want you to kind of convince me in the comments to read them, because there's so many here and there's a lot going on. We have The Way I Am Now and The Way I Used to Be. This is the first book. This is the second book. I haven't read the first book, but I bought the second book. This is going to be a common theme today and we're just going to ignore it. We have Hookshot and Blockshot, which are books 2 and 3 in the Hoop series. I want to read these. The first book was so good, but they're just so thick. Like, they're just so thick, and I think that just puts me off reading them. The last one in our emotional damage section is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan. I know that you guys love this book. I know that this is a really sad book, but I haven't read it and I'm sorry. Okay. I found more emotional damage. We have Until You by Katharina Mora, whatever it is. Until You. I bought this at a local book signing as well. I bought this from Fiction and Friction and I really want to read it. It looks really good and I think I've heard good things about this. And then we have The Wrong Heart by Jennifer Hartman. That confused me there for a second. I've heard really good things about this one and I really want to read it as well. And then we have The Coldest Heart by Brittany Cherry. I've heard that this is sad. I've heard that it's good and I want to read it, so I will read it one day. Look, I'm going to keep saying I'm going to read these, and you know what? I really want to, but we have over 200 books here. This is stressful. Okay, let's move on to my fantasy books. Now, there aren't too many of these, but you guys know that I don't necessarily love reading fantasy, so we only have a few here, which is actually not too bad. So we have A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames. I still haven't read any of these. I've read the first 2 in the ACOTAR series, but I haven't read these ones yet. And then we have The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. I picked this one up because it is for the fans of Practical Magic and Gilmore Girls. So I saw that and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. Still haven't read it. Anyways, we have Die For You by Lauren Jackson. Now this isn't, I think this is more like vampire than anything, but I still really want to read this. And then we have the Powerless, Powerful series that's still going. I don't have the third one yet, but I mean, I haven't read the first 2, so why would I buy the third one? Powerless and Powerful. I'm excited to read them. I hear really good things, so I am going to read them, I promise. And then we have Her Feral Beast by E.P. Barley. This is a Fated Mates book. I don't know. I've read the first one. It was good. It's like a small little novella. I enjoyed it and it has sprayed edges as well. E.P. Barley actually sent this one to me and I cannot wait to read it. It is so pretty. And then we have, you guys are going to be really upset with me about this, but we have the duology from Rebecca Ross, which is Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. Now, I've been telling you guys I'm going to read this for ages. I still haven't done it. Convince me to read them. Just convince me to read them, okay? And then I will do it. Alrighty, these are the thrillers slash crime novels that I have. I only have a few, which is actually really good for me. I have Never Lie by Frida McFadden. We have Bad Blood and All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a natural series. I've read the first 2 in this series and I've absolutely loved it, so I am going to continue on, but I needed the rest of them and I found them in the same size. I have had issues with a lot of them being not the same size, so I wanted to make sure that I got them all from the same publisher. We then have 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I've heard really good things about this one and I cannot wait to read it. My friend actually gifted me this for my birthday and I really want to read it. And then we have The Surgeon by Leslie Wolfe. I found this on Amazon ages ago, so I'm really excited to read it. And then the last one we have is The Maid. Now I actually have the second book in this series too, which is The Mystery Guest, but my friend is borrowing it. I haven't read the first one, so I let her borrow the second one. And this is by Anita Prose. The main character's name is Molly, so I was really excited about that one, and I bought it. That's all I have to say. My Christmas books, my festive Christmas books that I cannot wait to read, but I will not be reading them until December because why would you read a Christmas book during the middle of the year? That's just concerning. So we have The Christmas Wish by Lindsay Kelk. I don't know what this is about. It's cute. We have The Plight Before Christmas by Kate Stewart, The Xmas Holidays by Zoe Allison, Just Like Magic by Sarah Hoggle. I want to say Hoggle. Cute, That's why I got it. We have Inner Holidays by Christina Lauren. Now I do love Christina Lauren's work, so I'm like, I'm gonna read it, but I still haven't. Anyways, we have A Merry Little Meet Cute and The Holly Jolly Ever After, and that is by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. Look, I'm going to mess up a lot of these authors' names and you guys are just going to have to deal with it. So I really want to read these two. I've heard really good things about them, but I have to wait till Christmas. We have How the Grump Saved Christmas by Claire Kingsley. I love Claire Kingsley, and I'm really hoping that this is a small town romance like her others, but we'll see. And the last one we have is All I Want for Christmas by Maggie Knox. This is such a cute cover and I'm so excited to read these, but I need to be in my Christmas festive mood to be able to read them, so we have to wait a couple of months, but that's okay, we'll get there. Okay, these are all the Colleen Hoover books that I have not read yet. One of these is going to piss you guys off, but oh well. We've got Confess and Too Late. These two, I've heard really good stuff about Confess, and I've heard some interesting things about Too Late, so I will read them. I'm excited. This one's gonna piss you off. I haven't read Verity. I haven't read it, but it's been on my bookshelf for a very long time, and you can see the color of it, and I still haven't read it. And I know you guys rave about this book, and I will read it one day, I promise. I just need to be in my coho mood. And then the last two I have is Regretting You and Heartbones. Now I've heard that Heartbones is really, really good. And I feel like I'm missing out, so I have to read them. But these are the 5 books by Colleen Hoover that I haven't read yet. The Bridgerton books that I haven't read yet. Now I have 2 copies of every single one of these. So I have counted both of the copies in my physical TBR because technically I haven't read them, but we have a few here. So we have On the Way to the Wedding. I have 2 copies of this. Let's Not Ask Questions. I have When He Was Wicked, To Sir Philip with Love, and we have the Bridgertons Happily Ever After. Like I said, I have multiple copies of each of these books because they're either different copies or they're copies that you can't get anymore. So I've been sort of collecting them as I go. So technically they do count as more than one. So I have about 3 piles of contemporary romances to get through. So I obviously haven't read a lot of contemporary romances. You can see that this shelf is now empty, absolutely empty, and so is this one, but that's okay. So we have a lot of Christina Lauren books. I have Something Wilder, Dating You, Hating You, The Soulmate Equation, Twice in a Blue Moon, and The Honey Don't List. Now this is all by Christina Lauren. I have a lot of their backlisted books and I have wanted to read them, and I bought them all off Marketplace, so I am going to get to them. I promise I will get to them. I think there's another one in here that I haven't read. Yes, we have The Paradise Problem and The True Love Experiment. Now this is actually on my TBR for this month, so I will read it, I promise. I promise. We have a lot of Monica Murphy books. So we have the entire Lancaster Prep series. We have Things I Wanted to Say but Never Did. We have A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, Promises We Meant to Keep, I'll Always Be With You, You Said I Was Your Favorite, For All My Kisses for You, and Lonely for You Only. So I have a lot of Monica Murphy books. I feel like I collected all of her books when I first started reading, and I said I was going to get to them because I know you guys love them, and I will definitely get to them, I promise. I honestly want to start with the Lancaster Prep series and then continue, or even start with some of her standalone books. I read one of her books recently and I actually really loved it, and it was my first Monica Murphy book, so I think that I will be getting to her really, really soon. I'm trying to put books away as I talk about them and then get more, so you guys are going to see that the bookshelves are going to change rapidly when I film in between all of these. But I feel like if I took them all off my bookshelf, I would be overwhelmed, and we're not overwhelming me. Okay, because I know I have a lot of books that I have to go through. To continue our contemporary romances, I have One in a Lifetime, and this is by Lindsay Kelk as well, the same author that wrote one of the Christmas books I have. Haven't read it, haven't read anything by her, but this cover is absolutely stunning. We have The Roommate. This is by Rosie Dannon. I've heard some people say good things, I've heard some people say bad things, but I'm gonna read it anyways. We have Vacation Wars by Megan Quinn. This is on my monthly TBR. If you guys saw my monthly TBR video, and I cannot wait to get to this one. We have Happy Place by Emily Henry. Need I say any more? We have Too Hot to Handle by Tessa Bailey. I actually got this for like $8 at Dimmicks, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna give it a go. It's like this big. It's this big. We have Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. This is the last Abby Jimenez book that I have on my physical TBR. I know she's got a lot more out there that I cannot wait to read. We have The Boyfriend Candidate, and this is by Ashley Winstead. I have heard about it. I haven't heard a lot about it, and I do want to read it, so I'm going to give it a go. And then we have A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. This is also on my monthly TBR, and I will be reading it. I promise you guys, I will do it for you. I promise you guys we're getting there. We're not even halfway through, so go and get yourself a beverage. I don't know. Pause me and go and get a beverage because this is going to take a while. We have the Bindi Kennedy books. This is a series. I don't know what the series is called, but we have Rules in Love, we have Secrets in Love, and we have Lost in Love. I have all of these. They're all signed. I really want to read them, but there's no pull to get to them sooner rather than later, so they will continue to be on my TBR for a while probably. We have Bad Girl Reputation by Elle Kennedy. Now, I think I need to read another book before I read this, and I honestly want to read them in order, and I love Elle Kennedy's books, and I know that these aren't a lot of people's favorites, but I love Elle Kennedy, so I'm going to give it a go. We have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is another Kennedy Ryan book I have. Apparently, this is kind of emotionally damaging, but I'm really interested to see what it's about. We have One Day by David Nichols. Now, I'm sure that I'm like everyone else, and I saw that this came out on Netflix, and I bought the book because I was going to read the book before I watched the Netflix series, and I never read the book, and I still haven't watched the Netflix series, so take that as you will. I have False Boys by Penelope Douglas. Now, I know this is probably not a contemporary romance, but I've just stuck it in that section because I haven't read it. I don't really know. I started reading it, and I'm this far through, and that was probably like a year ago. So I tried. And then we have Beautiful Disaster. Now, this is by Jamie Maguire. Now, I saw the movie, TV show, whatever it was, on Prime Video, and I was like, I'm gonna read the book. Haven't done that. Anyways, okay, our next pile, we have some YA books in here as well. So we have Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter and Betting on You by Lynn Painter. Now, I read The Do-Over by Lynn Painter and I really liked it, so I'm going to continue reading her books. And I also have Happily Never After, which is also one of her new ones. I don't know what it's about. I don't know if it's YA, but she writes really good YA books if you guys love them. And I will recommend her. I really enjoy her. And then we have the Addicted Callaway series by Krista and Becca Ritchie. Now, I've read the first book, so that means that we have Ricochet left to read, Addicted for Now, Addicted After All, Thrive, Fuel the Fire, Some Kind of Perfect, Long Way Down, Hothouse Flower, and Kiss the Sky. Now, I know there is an order, and I did have it in order. I now do not, and it will probably not go back on my bookshelf in order, but I will figure that out later. The last little bit of my contemporary romance TBR section is My Life with the Walter Boys. Now, again, I watched the Netflix show and I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I wanted to read the book, and I haven't read it, so I will maybe one day read it. Maybe. I don't know. And then we have some Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's, and there are so many more books that I don't even own of hers yet. So this is like a small TBR version. I have After I Do, we have Maybe in Another Life, and then we have Forever Interrupted, and I cannot wait to read these. I love her books. I feel like when you read her books, you learn something about yourself and you learn something about the people that you love. So I absolutely love her books, and I will be reading them, I promise. And then we have My Fault, Your Fault, and Our Fault by Mercedes Ron. Now, I watched the Prime Video movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and I bought the books, and I haven't read them. But look how freaking big they are. Look how large they are, and look how intimidating they are together. I do not know. I do not know. I don't know if I'm going to unhaul these ones or if I'm going to keep them, but I might get to them. And then we have 3 random autobiographies. So Wait, this isn't an autobiography, this is a thriller. We have The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry. I need to add this to my thriller section. I don't know why that's there, but anyways. I have Matthew Perry's autobiography, and we have Gunther Steiner, who is a Formula One, well, was a Formula One principal, and I cannot wait to read both of these. I do love an autobiography, and I will definitely be reading this one when I'm less upset. My bookshelves are getting very sad. Let's move on to sports romances. So I have a lot of sports romances, and I have a lot of sports romances on my TBR as well. So let's just get straight into it. We have The Au Pair Affair by Tessa Bailey. This is her newest release, and it is hockey romance, and I'm really excited to read it. I've heard really good things. I have The Dare, which is the last book in the Briar U series by Elle Kennedy. I've absolutely loved the Off-Campus and Briar U series, so I cannot wait to read this one. I'm sort of just trying to take my time because I don't want to be left without an Elle Kennedy hockey romance. We then have The Dixon Rule and The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy as well. This is in her new series, and this is the first one and this is the second one, and I cannot wait to read it, but I have to finish Briar U first before I start these ones. I then have Misfit and Rogue by Elle Kennedy. These are not hockey romances or sports romances. These are college romances. I've sort of just kept her all together because I love when I can keep authors together. So these are, I don't know, college? I honestly don't know. But the fact that the covers don't match really peeves me. Anyways, and then my last Elle Kennedy book is The Body Check. This is one of her newer releases. It's very small and I'm so excited to read it. It's hockey romance, again, what she does best. We then have the Hannah Cowan series books. These are the ones that I have left. So we have Blissful Hook, and then we have Her Greatest Adventure, His Greatest Muse, and Her Greatest Mistake. I don't know how these ones go in order, but I do love them. I love her hockey romances, and I've read so many of them, so I cannot wait to continue on and read these ones. We then have Play With Me and Unravel Me by Becca Mack. Now I know that there is a new one that's come out, I believe Fall With Me, and I haven't bought that one yet. Are you guys proud of me? It only came out last week. Anyways, I still have these ones to go. I didn't love Consider Me, and I know you guys really loved it. So I think that's why I've been put off from the rest of the series, but I will probably try with the next one. And if I don't like it, I probably won't continue on with the series. And then I have some Emily Rath. So I have Pucking Wild, and then we have Pucking Ever After Volume 1, which is like a small little novella to finish it off, I think. I didn't love Pucking Around, and you guys probably know that I've talked about the fact that I didn't really love it, but we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. And then we have Kelsey Ray. So we have Let Me Love You, Don't Let Me Down, and A Little Complicated. Now this is a different series. These two are the Don't Let Me series, and this is her next one which follows on, which I'm very excited about. I absolutely love these books, and I've loved this series so far, so I can't wait to continue it. And then we have some Megan Quinn hockey romances. I don't know what this series is called. Vancouver Alligators, sorry. So I don't have them in order. I don't have the first, last, or whatever book. Honestly, I'm a mess. So we have He's Not My Type, Those Three Little Words, and So This Is War. So none of these are the first book in the series. I'm just trying to collect them as I go when I find them, but I will get the whole series and then I will start it. And then the last two that I've got in this pile, we've still got so many more shelves to go. We have Return Policy by Hailey Dickett. Good job, Molly. I saw this on Amazon. I picked it up. I bought it. I thought it was really cute. The cover's so cute, and it's a hockey romance, so you can't go wrong. And I think I'll be giving this one a go very soon. And then we have Puck Me Secretly by Odette Stone. Now, my friend told me that this is a really good audiobook, so I'm probably going to try the audiobook of this one, but I'm really excited. Alrighty, so this is my last pile of sports romances. We have Grace Reilly's Stealing Home and Breakaway. These are book 2 and 3 in her, I don't know what this series is called. What are you called? I don't know. This is book 2 and 3 in one of her series. I don't know the name of it. But I read the first one and I really enjoyed it, so I will continue on, I promise. We have Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. We have Playing by the Rules by Monica Murphy. This is the second book in her... Why can't I... Oh, anyways, I don't know what this... I don't know what the series is called, but this is the second book. I just read the first one and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. So I'm really excited to read this one. We have Fair Catch by Candy Steiner. Now this is the People cover. I want to get the discreet cover, but we will get there. And then we have The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zimpata. I think that's how you say her name. And then I have Bloodstream by Emily Carter, which I'm also very excited to read. So those are all my sports romances that I have. Okay, let's start with our small town romances. Now you guys know I have a massive small town romance section. So there are a few books here. There's actually not that many, which you guys will probably know. I love my small town romances. So let's get into it. We have Lucy Score's Mr. Fixer-Upper. Now, I don't know what series this is. It's just come out recently and I will read it maybe. Maybe. We have another one of her series which I haven't started or read. We have Finally Mine. We have Pretending What's Mine and Protecting What's Mine and Pretend You're Mine. I really want to read this. I think this is I don't know what this series is called. I think I know it, but I'm not going to say it because it's probably wrong. But I'm really excited to read this one as well. And then we have Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score as well, which is the last book in her Knucklemount series. And I love this series so much, so I'm so excited to read it. We then have All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zimpata. Now this, I'm gonna say her name wrong every time, but apparently this is a slow burn small town romance and I'm very excited to read this one. And it looks slow. It looks slow. We then have Savor It by Tara Jewett. Now I've actually started this book and I think it's going to be a very soft DNF for me, and I never DNF books, but it is just really hard to get into, but I'll keep you guys updated on that one. And then we have Running Wild by K.A. Tucker, which is the last book in the Simple Wild book series. I don't know what the book series is called, but I've really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to keep going with that one. We then have the Calamity Mountain series by Devney Perry. Now, I don't have all of these, and these are the only ones I have, and I haven't read any of them. So we've got The Booty, The Bribe, and The Bluff. I have not read any of them, so I don't know, but they're small town romances. So then we continue on with Devney Perry. So I've got books 2 to 5 in her Runaway series. Book 2 is Wild Highway. Then we have Quarter Mile, Forsaken Trail, and Dotted Lines. Now I actually have these copies and I have a collector's edition copy of them as well, so technically that's also unread, but I read the first one and I enjoyed it, so I'm going to continue on, and they're very small, so I'm assuming they'll be really easy to read. We then have The Lucky Heart by Devney Perry. This is an Eternal Embers special edition. This isn't the normal cover of it. I haven't read it and I haven't read the series, so I'm excited to jump into that one as well. We then have Ignite by Melanie Harlow. I'm excited to read this. I don't know what it's about. It kind of looks like dark romance, but I know that Melanie Harlow writes good small town romances, so I don't know. It's just in that section. We have Crossroads by Devney Perry. I'm actually reading this one right now, so it won't be on my TBR forever. I know you guys are proud of me, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and it's her new series. I then have Saving Wishes. This is by G.J. Walker-Smith. One of my friends recommended this to me and I want to read it, and it's one of the ones that will just be on my shelf, okay? We have Reason to Believe by Rebecca Yarros. This is the first book in the Legacy series. This is small town romance. I'm very excited to see if this is good, but I'll get to it, I promise, okay? We have You're It by Lucy Harper. I found this author on TikTok and I saw one of the quotes in the books and I was like, yes, I'm gonna read this. It sounded so good. So this one is also on my TBR as well. We have Stay by Willow Astor. I think this is book 5 in her Landmark Mountain series. I've read all the other books and I absolutely loved them, so I'm so excited to get to this one. And just look at the cover. Just look at the cover. I know, I've convinced you. We have Chasing Wild by Elliot Rose. I have started this book and it's very spicy, I will tell you that. I've started it and I will finish it. I think I'm 60-something% into it as well. And then we have a new edition. We have Cowboy by Heart. Now this is a Mills and Boons anniversary collection. It's by Stella Bagwell, Rebecca Winters, and Tanya Michaels. There's 3 books in here and I'm excited to read it. I mean, the cover is stunning and I'm excited to see what it's about. Kit McBride Gets a Wife by Amy Barry. Now I started this one and I realized it was in third person, so I put it down. I was not in the mood for third person book, but I will get to it, I promise. And then we have Mixed Signals by BK Boris, and this is book 3 in this series. There is a new book in the series that's come out now, so I think I need to catch up and read this one so I can read the last one. I've surrounded myself with more small town romances, and I thought I was doing really well, but I am apparently not doing as well as I thought. So we have Meant for You by Samantha Lee. This is the second book in the Valentine's Bay series, and I'm really excited to continue on with this one. I love Samantha Lee. I love her writing. I love her small town romances. We have Mustang Valley by Sienna Judd. This is the second book in the Starlight Canyon series, and I liked the first one, so I will continue, I promise. We have Something in the Texas Sun. This one is by Maddie C. James. I'm excited for this. I saw it on TikTok and I was like, I must have it. I must have it. But I haven't read it. We have Strung Along by Hannah Cowan. Now this is the first book in her new small town romance series, which I'm really excited. I want to finish her hockey romances first because there are a few cameos from characters and they sort of connect somehow. So I'm going to continue on with the hockey romances until I get to this one. I then have the last 2 books in the Cottonwood Cove series by Laura Pavlov. I have After the Storm and Before the Sunset. These covers are gorgeous and I'm loving the Cottonwood Cove series so much. I then have Forbidden King, which is the 3rd book in the Magnolia Falls series, and the new one is coming out soon, so I'm going to read this one so I can continue on. I then have some more books from Claire Kingsley. Now these are her... what is this series? The Bailey Brothers series. So I only have books, these are the ones that I have. I don't have all of them, but I have books 2, 5, and 6 left to read. I obviously have all the other ones, but I don't have them physically, so they're not on my TBR. So we have Fighting for Us, we have Chasing the Fire, and Rewriting the Stars. Now these ones are chunky, like they're seriously chunky, and I will get to them. But I need to collect all of them, I think, before I continue on with the series, okay? I then have the Sugar Lake series by Emily McIntyre. So we have Beneath the Stars and Beneath the Stands. These are so cute and they are small town romances as well. And I had to have them and I'm yet to read them. Story of my life. We have the 3rd book in the Queen's Cove series, In Your Dreams, Holden Rhodes. I love this series so much. I love Stephanie Archer, so I am definitely continuing on with this one. I have The Reality of Us by Emma Mugglestone, and I also have the start off novella, which is What'll It Be. These are both by Emma Mugglestone. This one is signed and I'm really excited to read these ones as well. I then have Untamed and Burned by Ivy Jackson. These are obviously cowboy romances and I'm so excited to read them. I've heard good things and the covers are just stunning. I love them. Okay, so moving on, we have Tempt Our Fate by Kat Singleton. I loved book 1 and I'm really excited to continue. We have Rope the Moon and Tame the Heart by Ava Hunter. And these, I mean, look at the covers of them. Just look at the covers of them. I will read them, I promise, okay? We have a lot of Corinne Michaels. These are all Corinne Michaels. I've been collecting her and not reading her. I have Be Loved and Beholden, which is book 1 and 2 in the Salvation series. These ones are stunning. I have her other series, which is the Willow Creek Valley series. The covers of these are stunning. We have A Chance for Us. We have Return to Us, A Moment for Us, and Could Have Been Us. So these are, like, the covers of these are just gorgeous. And, you know, I'll read them. Okay, if you had a shot every time I said I will read this, you'll probably be drunk by now and you won't even want to watch this video anymore. The next one that we have is the, I don't know what this series is called, but I'm assuming it's like the Say series. We've got Say I'm Yours, Say You Want Me, and Say You'll Stay. That's book 1, 2, and 3. I don't think there's any more in that series. I have Broken Dreams, which is the second book in the Whitlock family series. I read the first one and I loved it. And then I have one of her other series. I don't know what this is the Rose Canyon series. We have Help Me Remember, Give Me Love, and Keep This Promise. Now, I have so many Corinne Michaels books, guys, and I have read some of them and I have enjoyed a lot of them, and I don't know why I haven't continued on. I honestly just forgot I had all of these, if I'm being completely honest with you. These are my last two piles of books. Now these are my billionaire, dark, spicy selection of books. Honestly, I am puffed because I had to get them off the top of my bookshelf. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. So we have Lethal Vows by T.L. Smith and Kia Carrington Russell. This is the first book in the, I don't know what this series is called, but I am excited to read it, and I've got this one signed as well, so that's fun. I've got The Anti-Hero by Sarah Kate. Now, I really want to read this one, and I've got some Sarah Kate books here as well that I need to read. So we've got Madame and The Highest Bidder, which are the last two books in the Salacious Players Club series. I love this series, and it's one of those spicy billionaire romance ones that I love. We have Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I wanted to read this one, and I got this before it went trad published, so it's kind of like a little unicorn here in my bookshelf. I then have A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. Now, I cannot wait to read this. This is not billionaire, spicy, or dark. This is more miscommunication, I hear. A lot of drama. I don't really know. I want to read it though, so I'm very excited. I then have my T.L. Swan books. So I have The Do-Over and Miles Ever After. Now, this is in the Miles High Club series. This is the last two books in the series, and I'm very excited to read them. I then have Mr. Garcia, which is the third book in the Mr. series. I don't know. I think it's called the Mr. series. This is chunky and big. Like, this is my head and this is the book. I just realized it looks like it's me and my fictional boyfriend. Hello, everyone. This one I'm very excited to read. I love that series so much. I have Kylie Kent's Merged with Him and Devilish King. Now, these are in two different series. This is the first one that you're supposed to read in the reading order, so I have it, just haven't read it. I've put book 3 and 4 by Anna Huang in the If Love series. So we've got If Love Had a Price and we've got If We Were Perfect. Now, these are like the first books that she ever wrote, and I really liked the first two. They are in third person, so just make sure you know that. I've then got the entire Kings of Sin series here that I haven't read. We've got King of Wrath, King of Pride, King of Greed, and King of Sloth. Now, I've read none of them. I will maybe read them. I don't know. And then for my Anna Huang pile, we've got Twisted Lies and Twisted Hate. These are the last two books in the Twisted series that I need to read, and I will be reading them. I've heard that they get better as the series progresses. And then I have my Lauren Asher books that I have left to read. So I have The Final Offer, which is the third book in the Lakefront Billionaires series. No, the Dreamland Billionaires series. This is the Lakefront Billionaires. So I've got book 1 and book 2. We've got Love Redesigned and Love Unwritten, which are the first two books that are out. This is the series that she is continuing at the moment, so I'm very excited to continue on with that one. And I have this little random book that I don't know where it goes. I haven't read it, and that is 1111 by Michaela Smeltzer. I don't know where she goes. I will have to read her to find out. I've sort of just chucked her in to the bookshelf, and I will find a spot for her. Those are all of the books on my physical TBR. I thought that this video was going to be a lot less than it was, and then as soon as I realized there was over 200 books here, I think I got myself a little bit in over my head. But we've gone through every single book that I have not read on my bookshelf, and I think this was really good motivation for me to continue reading my physical TBR, because again, my goal for this year was to cut it down a little bit, and I think I'm going to make a reasonable goal of trying to get my physical TBR underneath 200. So at the moment, I believe it's something like 233 books. If you've gone through and you've counted every single one, then you can tell me how many it was. But I think that my goal for the rest of this year is to get it under 200, and I think that's a reasonable goal. And I honestly, it's kind of embarrassing. It is. I feel like there was I thought that there was so many, like, less. I thought, but but you know what? It is what it is. I have a book buying addiction and I will not apologize for it. I want you guys to try and convince me in the comments to read some of these books because I really need your help. I need you guys to sit with me and pretty much just tell me what to read. And you know what? I think that this means we need to do a reading vlog of me trying to get through my physical TBR. I think that's what this means, and if you guys are excited for that, then please let me know. Do not forget to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you can see when I post a video. I try and post every week. I love you guys so much. Thank you for sitting and watching this crazy, chaotic, long video. I love you guys so much. Have the bestest day. I love you. Bye.